A certain southern gentleman was returning home after a round-the-world 3-month-long cruise. He was met at the station by his chauffeur, James. On the way home, the gentleman inquired, "I say, James, has there been any news since I've been gone?" "Oh, no, sir. There's been no news." "Really? I've been gone for 3 months. Certainly there must be some news." "Well, sir, now that you mention it, your dog died." "My dog? Oh, that's too bad. Old Bowser? Well, that's so sad. Well, tell me, how did he die?" "Well, he died from eating the burnt horseflesh, sir." Burnt horseflesh, James? Where did he get burnt horseflesh?" "Well, sir, after the barn burned down, burned up all the cows and horses, after the fire cooled, the dog ran in and ate the burnt horseflesh, and that's what killed the dog, sir." "The barn burned down, James? How did the barn burn down?" "Well, sir, it was sparks from the house flew over, caught the barn on fire, burned up all the cows and horses, and after the fire cooled down, the dog ran in and ate the burnt horseflesh, and that's what killed the dog, sir." "Sparks from the house?" "Oh, yes, sir, that's completely destroyed." "How did the house burn down, James?" "Well, sir, it was the candles caught the drapes on fire and caught the house on fire, and then sparks from the house flew over and caught the barn on fire, burned up all the cows and horses, and when the fire cooled down, the dog ran in and ate the burnt horseflesh, and that's what killed the dog, sir." "Candles? There haven't been candles in my house since rural electrification, James. What were candles doing in my house?" "Oh, well, sir, they were around the coffin, sir." "Coffin? Who died?" "Oh, sir, it was your mother-in-law, sir." "My mother-in-law? She was in perfect health when I left 3 months ago. How did she die?" "Well, sir, no one really knows for certain, but some folks think that it was from shock after learning that your wife had run away with a stable boy. But other than that, sir, there's been no news." I first heard that story by a pair of cousins in the 1970s. They were Barbara Freeman and Connie Reagan. They called themselves the Folk Tellers. They had a Datsun pickup truck, which they rigged up into a camper, and they drove all over the country giving storytelling performances. They were one of the founders of the National Association for the Preservation and Perpetuation of Storytellers, which is now called the National Storytellers Network in Jonesboro, Tennessee. And they put on the festival I've mentioned several times, the National Storytelling Festival in October. Anyway, Barbara and Connie are no longer together telling stories so much. They're now both separate, doing solo storytelling. You can find Barbara Freeman on barbarafreemanstoryteller.com and Connie Reagan Blake now as storywindow.com, I think it's called. Anyway, if you get a chance to hear them, they're probably still great. I haven't heard them since the 70s, but after 50 years of fine-tuning and what does wine do? Aging? Oh no. Anyway, I'm sure they're good storytellers. Check them out if you can. But this story is not original to them. This story has been traced back to a comedian in the vaudeville circuit in the early 1900s. His name is Nat Wills. He did no news. And Archiphone Records has put together a compilation of all of Nat's sketches, the ones they can find, recordings of, and they put a CD together, and I've ordered that CD, and I'm eager for it to come in. It hasn't come in yet, so I'm curious to see what else is on that. Anyway, I'm Rob Craighurst. I live in Charlottesville, Virginia. I hope you enjoyed the story and have a quality quarantine.